שים לעולם שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם תשים לעולם תשים לעולם.
Now we turn to the Torah service, which is the central part of this afternoon's bat mitzvah celebration. And as I promised, we're going to remove a Torah scroll from the ark, and we're going to pass it literally and symbolically from generation to generation to generation, from grandparents to parents to child. And so I ask you please to rise for the Torah service and invite not only parents Ruth and Scott, but grandparents John and Marlene and Bob and Jill and Margie and Alan to join us for passing the Torah, and cousins Clavy and Tyler and Rachel and great uncle and aunt George and Pam to all come down and help us open the ark. We listen to the cantor and then we repeat. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shmo. Please be seated. Okay, 2 minutes, we're going right to the Torah. Just let me tell you about, as most of you know, the Torah scroll contains the 5 books of Moses. I won't give you a test, but it's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And it's a Jewish tradition to read the entire Torah every year, and so in an annual cycle, we read 1 week after the next, then whatever Torah portion comes up next, and here we are at the very end. We're at the very end when you'll see when Cantor Frankel opens the Torah for the reading, we are literally at the very end of the Torah, the very end of Deuteronomy, and the last thing that happens in Deuteronomy is that the children of Israel are standing right on the edge of the Jordan River, about to cross over after 40 years of wandering in the desert, about to cross over, and what happens to Moses? He dies. So, there we go. End of story. So I told you to be quick. No. It'll be quick. But Moses dies. Moses, after freeing everybody from slavery and schlepping them through the desert for 40 years, doesn't get to go into the promised land. We need a new leader for that. You know, every leader has to have an end at some point. You end and someone else takes over. Most leaders don't like to let go of their leadership. So in this case, God gets to be in charge and says, Moses, you know, say goodbye. You go up to the mountain Nebo, and that's the end of it. So, and you're going to die. Most of us don't have that privilege. God talking to us, most of us, and telling us when we're going to die. So the question for the next minute is, if you had a choice, would you like God to tell you when you're going to die or not? This is like a real question, as opposed to a rhetorical question. So anybody like to know? Yeah, and why would you like to know? So if you knew, you'd be able to say goodbye to people that you love. Who else? Yeah. Then you could negotiate. Could we start with, yeah, you could negotiate, okay? Yeah. Because? Because you'd like the visit, you know. You'd be going, where you been? You wait till the end of my life to show up, to talk to me. Yes. So part of the challenge is hearing God all the rest of your life when it's not so blatant. You know, like when you wake up and your heart's beating. Oh, there's a good sound of God. You know, when you hear that, that's somebody that turns to you and gives you their love, and you hear that God speaking that way. There's all these different ways when where's that rock? When someone gives you, you see love rocks. When someone gives you something beautiful, and you go, oh, that was a gift from God, and you never quite know where God is speaking. And, you know, Jewish tradition, I can't help it, tomorrow begins Yom Kippur, which is the sacred day of the Jewish year, the Day of Atonement, and one of the themes of Yom Kippur, which is, I mean, this is amazing because, Tracy, that you're having your bat mitzvah right now, of course, particularly for the Cantor and I, it's amazing that you're doing this, but it's amazing because this is the first bat mitzvah of the year. You're the very first bat mitzvah of this new year. And because here you are, the most sacred week of the year, days of awe between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and tomorrow, in Jewish tradition, everybody's supposed to die. Literally. Tomorrow, what happens in Yom Kippur, this 24-hour fasting traditionally day, is you're supposed to hear God telling you, sorry, you're going to die. Now, it may not be that hour. It may not be 3 hours later. It may not be 5 hours later, with any luck. It may not be even that day. But the reality is, God's telling that to all of us. I would say raise your hand if you're not going to die, but the fact of the matter is, this is what comes with being human. You know, we have lives, they begin and they end. At least this version of it, for sure, ends. And tomorrow on Yom Kippur, the Jewish liturgy, the Jewish prayers say, you have to literally imagine